Good evening. This is Wendy Antonucci here. I am with my November Cocoa Daisy kit. I wanted to make this video about a product that just really captured my eye. It's this quote of the day little booklet. I heard we were getting this. When I first saw it, I thought, I am never going to use this. Well, guess what? I've used it so many times it's not funny. But right now, I want to show you a layout that I'm thinking of. My daughter went to see Newsies, and I had a picture of the poster and my daughter with the cast. I have one of the papes that they use there for those of you that happen to know the musical, and her ticket, which was just a printed out one. What I was thinking though is they take their newspaper and they ripped up the papes. And since it's all about this pape, and I thought, wouldn't it be fun to take these quote of the days and make a background out of them? So I was just thinking I would randomly place these across the page in different locations. I know that I'm going to use this picture, but instead of placing it and working around it, I think I'm going to leave it off and just make a whole background of this quote of the day. I know I also want to include the piece that she actually brought home from the musical, like that, something like that. I also have this one with my boys with the poster, but I have a small one too, so I'm thinking I could easily slide this down here. So that's the pieces I have. Now my other option, my paper choice, my background paper. I have this cream piece, but I also have this piece. And here again, you can see my main pieces. I think it would also look good. I guess it'll mainly depend on that. I think this might stand out more. Now this isn't really anything to do with Christmas. There's no real Christmas colors in there. There's just a lot of color. But I thought I could easily squeeze in pieces like this and some of the pine cones, and just like here's a piece of that vellum. That would look nice. So even though this is not Christmassy, I can easily use this kit. So I put together a few of these quote papes already. So see, this is kind of what I've been doing. I'm just gluing these randomly. I'm trying not to use too many because, like I said, I have used them on everything. So I don't want to use them up, but isn't this neat that you can make your own background with these papers? I thought that would be a different idea, and I wanted to begin and just show you that and get you thinking out of the box. Some of the ways that I've used this so far is, here's one that I've noticed the edge is missing. I've used this date bar on many different layouts. I've used this little part here, funny, deep, inspiring. I've used that part. I've had this just stick up. I mean, a house full of kids, believe me, there's things that they say that are quotable or maybe not quotable. So you can see where I'm heading with this. And I don't know if I'll cover the whole page, but this is where I'm going. So I will be back in a few minutes with more of this put together. See you then. Okay, since we were here together last, I have put together this background of the quote of the day from this little notebook that was included in the memory keeping kits. And I had talked about the fact that I had this background chosen or this brown one. I really like the brown one. So as I began to work with that, I put my daughter's picture on the pape that she brought back from the event. And I know I want it somewhere like that. Now, I want a little bit of color. There is a little bit of red there. And back here kind of looks Christmassy. So I cut a 6x6 piece of the exclusive paper. And I thought that would work well. It doesn't overwhelm it. It doesn't establish a color, but it adds some. Now, I really want to get this in because it has the poster that went with it. So I think... Now I'm going to slip this back here. Okay. I don't want to put it in front because the wall, so I am going to put it behind that piece. One thing you will find out about me is I cannot scrap straight for the life of me. Everything I do, even if I think it's perfectly lined up, will not be straight. So anyway, that looks good. I eye everything. I don't have time to be exact because the rest of my life is exact. So I'm going to put these down here. I'm going to go ahead and attach that. I know some of you do not like to put items that are not acid-free. Obviously, this newspaper is not, but I figure I would rather just get the story down, and I don't really care what I put in my books. Who knows if they'll even make it that many years. You know, there could always be a fire or something else. Okay, so this is where I'm headed. Like I mentioned before, I think one of those would just really look nice. No, it's not Christmassy, but it brings some of the fun colors out and makes it pop. But as I was paging through my papers that came in the November kit, and again thinking, did I want to use this cream color paper? And no, I didn't really like this now that I've gone back to it. But what about this piece? It was a musical, hence the music would be a great idea. And when I put that on, and you can see it's very crooked, I now have that brown color, but I also have a little bit of lighter, which helps it not seem so dark. I actually really like this because now I'm including the dark that I liked and the lighter piece, and I've included something else that is important to my theme, that this was a musical. Okay, so here's my page right now. I do have our ticket and where this took place. I'm thinking I'd like to kind of slide this under here, kind of staple it on. I'm not sure yet because I want the details to be shown. Maybe just like that. Somewhere like that. And I don't know, this is not very pretty. I'm not sure there's any way to get this on in a nice manner, but I will definitely work on that. So I have a few more things to do. I'll probably add in a title. I'm going to pull out my die cuts. I also have these. These I cut for the October kit, but I think it will go with this really nicely and add to the not Christmassy feel, but that, you know, I can decorate it in that manner. And it doesn't take away from the idea of my page. Maybe something like that. Kind of scooch I'm a little bit closer, but so right there is pretty much my layout. I have a few more things to add in, but I love this quote of the day idea. Now my daughter got all excited and she said, oh, we can add in this that they said, and this that they said, and this that they said, and I'm thinking that wasn't quite what I had in mind. So I'm probably going to turn this over to my daughter next so that she can write all the important things that she considers. Or maybe I'll even let her write them and then I'll type them up. I might add one more there. I'm noticing over here that I don't have any of those quote of the day. And so I think I want to make sure I get something. I'll have to work that down there a little bit more. But anyway, maybe down here. I'll cut some of that, so there's just the quote of the day. But I want a little bit more of the quote of the day idea showing. So whether or not my daughter gets a hold of this and adds to it her part of the story, which I'm sure would be a good idea, I'm sure I can handle that. And then I could always add the quotes on on a typewriter and add the little strips around the edges even. That would add a little bit of interest. I somehow have lost my die cuts, so once I find those, I will add them to the page, and then it'll be complete. I will be adding in some of these, maybe relax and enjoy, or the daily grind. Of course, you need a heart because she was so in love with this. So there you have it. I will be back later with the finished product, and I will share a glimpse of it. But there's a fun way to use the quote of the day notepad that we got. Thanks for joining me. Bye.